Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar with the City of Marietta, Georgia. Today, we will be talking about how the city improves user satisfaction by expanding help desk coverage. My name is Julie Duke, and I work for Boss Solutions, and we welcome you all today. What we're going to be covering in the next hour is basically how the City of Marietta really greatly improved their user satisfaction by expanding the help desk coverage across many of their city departments. We'll also talk about how easily customizable the services and requests can be automated, and also discuss the KPIs for the management team in regards to the reports and dashboards. At the end of the hour, we will be answering all of your questions and doing a gift card drawing. Today's presenters are Kelly Hanson, the Service Desk Manager with the City of Marietta, and Vishu Nayagam. He is our Director of Product Engineering here at Boss Solutions. Just a few quick notes. First of all, everyone will be muted during the webinar. We do want your questions, so there is a question window. So as we go along, please put your questions in during it so you don't forget about any, and we'll be answering those at the end. The webinar is recorded, so anyone who is registered as a participant, if you have to jump off for any reason, you will receive a copy. After the webinar, we're also going to send you a survey. It's a very short survey. We really appreciate your feedback on what you thought of the webinar, as well as what you'd like to see in future webinars. Just to give you an overview of our company at a glance, we have been doing IT service management for over 25 years. We are also one of Gartner's front runners in help desk software. That includes Boss Desk, our ITIL service desk on the cloud, as well as our on-premise Boss Support Central. We also have a product called Boss 811. This is a one-call ticket management solution for the damage prevention industry. As always, we look forward to bringing you the latest in technology and the best in customer support. Today's presentations, Kelly Hanson for the City of Marietta will be talking about how they improved user satisfaction by expanding the help desk. Also, she will be talking about the KPIs for the management team and the reports and dashboards that they use. Later in the presentation, Vishu Nayagam will show just how easy it is to set up the reports, routing, service catalog, and all the rules within Boss Desk. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Kelly Hanson, the Service Desk Manager with the City of Marietta. Kelly?
Hi, thank you, Julie. Hello, I'm Kelly Hanson, and I'm from the Service Desk Manager from the City of Marietta. Let me get my PowerPoint pulled up real quick. All right, so the City of Marietta, we are located about 30 minutes northwest of Atlanta, Georgia. Our IT department, we support around 800 employees, and we are split into 3 divisions with a total of 23 employees. We have a service desk / help desk, a network services division, a system services / GIS department. About 3 years ago, we decided to make the move to Boss Desk. We really enjoyed the Support Central application that Boss has, but our director wanted us to move to a more cloud-based, so we moved over to Boss Desk. Things I will be covering today and how we expanded our coverage is we've created for our traffic department a post box to monitor error codes that come through our traffic cabinets. We've created a service catalog for a system called Glance, which I'll go into more details later. We also, for our cybercrime unit at the police department, we have added agents into Boss and created their own special service catalog for them to track requests. For our Public Works Department, they had requested a service catalog to track issues and changes needed in Sages, which is a proprietary software for them. We're also going to go into how we use the problem feature under tickets. So if we ever have a cyber incident, how we're going to respond and how we're going to document those instances. And then I will go over our system access requests and how we use it for new hires and how we've been using it for the police and fire transfers and promotions. All right, let me pull up my my instance so I can show you guys. All right, so when you first log into Boss Desk, the first screen you're going to come to is your dashboard. This dashboard is completely customizable. They have lots of widgets that you can choose and pick from. Things that I like to kind of watch is our IT ticket distributions. So I have all of our agents. I can see how many tickets they have open, what's kind of going on. Our ticket type distributions, so these are the areas of our service requests. And then I have it broken down as to what kind of categories we have our tickets coming in. So service requests are generally just our day-to-day password resets, need help accessing emails, things of those nature. Sages is the public works, which I'll get more into. Traffic, our cyber unit, our system requests are your system access requests, so that'll cover any kind of new hires, change access, terminations, and then the transfers and promotions within our police and fire department. And then within our IT department, we also have a specific radio division and our GIS division. So we've created 2 categories for each of them, so that way our service desk doesn't have to deal with those tickets coming in, and they can get a quicker resolution by going straight to that staff. Other things I kind of keep an eye on is how many tickets we get created per day, how many open tickets we currently have within our IT department, how many tickets I have open on just our service desk. I keep track of making sure our site agent is up and running, and I just like to look at our OS distribution. So our service catalog, the one thing I like, so the way we kind of categorized it, we categorized with issues and problems, requests, GIS, new hire, employee, cyber unit requests, and fire. And the thing I like about Boss Desk is when you create your catalog, you can place the service request in whatever kind of order you want to put it in. So I looked at what kind of tickets we had coming in, and I saw obviously password resets are like our #1 ticket. So I made that the first thing people would see as they came in. And then I just kind of went down the line as far as what else was coming up. The other thing we did is, so for our facilities department, we would get people to put tickets in on non-IT related that would handle facilities. So we created a service catalog item just for them, so that way when people would want to submit something, they could just go straight to the website, and then we don't even have to see that ticket anymore. And then, so for our traffic, we created an icon called Glance. So Glance it's a program that deals with preemption for our fire unit. So there's a unit in each one of our fire apparatuses that when they're running lights and sirens on a call, on their route, it will signal all the traffic lights to turn green to help cut down their response times. Well, occasionally there will be issues, and so they've asked to have a ticketing system to be able to track those. So we've given them what intersection, date and time, what vehicle it happened, and any kind of additional information. So if I go back out to my dashboard and I come over to traffic, I can go to one of the tickets, and you can kind of see how it's filled out. Well, the other thing we did is the vendor also wanted to be able to see these tickets. So we added them as watchers. And what a watcher does is they can be someone either inside your organization or outside your organization. So we've got them, we have 2 vendors that are in here, and they are able to comment on the tickets. They can't do anything with the tickets except for watch them and comments on them. So they can't close them, they can't change them in any manner. And the way our watchers are added, we've created routing rules so that we don't have to manually go and add everybody. It just automatically, when a ticket comes in, it triggers it, it will assign it to traffic, it assigns it to the traffic agent, and then it adds all the watchers it needs. So the other one we have done as well is we did one for Sages. Sages is a proprietary software that our Public Works Department uses for plan reviews, permits, and inspections. So they've asked for their service catalog, and it's a very brief one. So, and again, we've added watchers so that will get triggered and it will add out all the watchers that it needs to, and then they can also continue to make comments in there. And then with our cyber unit, so this is strictly for our police department. So one thing BOSS does for you is it allows you to set permissions. So only our police department can see these 6 areas. And that also helps us with tickets. So we've created 3 different groups within our BOSS instance. So we have one for traffic, one for cyber units, and one for IT. And none of us can see each other's tickets, which is really nice because it cuts down on any kind of confusion or anything like that. And it also gives the PD their own kind of security so that, you know, we're not, oh, we're wondering what's kind of going on over there. Well, we don't need to know. So we've allowed them to just maintain and monitor this as they need. And obviously you can see they track anything from new hire background, citizens requests, cyber unit project requests, criminal investigation, traffic statistics, and crime statistics. The other thing we have started doing is under tickets, under problems. So if we ever have a cyber incident event, we are planning on using problems. So the nice thing about BOSS is they've already given you the template. So, you know, you can add a description of what's going on. You can then edit it and say what's been affected and what business areas are having a problem. You can describe what the root cause, so where did this event happen, how did it get in, and then finally we'll have a solution, so and how we remedied the situation. And the nice thing about this is it'll go out to our entire IT department, and we can comment on the ticket any which way. So you can comment from coming into the system and placing a comment, or you can even email, and it will make a little note. Anytime you see a little envelope, it'll say via email. So that makes you know the comment came in through the email. Another thing you can do in the problems is you can add a task. So if there's something someone actually needs to be working on, you can create a task for them and monitor how that's going. You can monitor how much time they're spending on, you know, maybe making the resolutions. You can have approvals. The other thing you can do is you can link any CIs you have. So any of the computers that might be affected, you can link them into this problem. You can also link any tickets. So if you've gotten a lot of tickets on it, you can link all the tickets in there. And the nice thing about that is when you make the comments, it will then put that same comment on all the tickets. Or if you're finally resolved with the problem, you can close it and it will close all the tickets. And so the other thing BOSS does is they have the event logs. So that will allow you to see everything that's been going on, who's been notified, and everything like that. The other thing we do are the new hires. So our system access request, it's just a basic form. There's a lot more check boxes, but one thing our network services division requested was us to put all the job titles in. So we entered all the job titles for the entire city. And what that has allowed them to do is it allows them to know what kind of permissions and Active Directory settings that user will need by their job title. The other thing they've asked for is the employee supervisor name, because we do some onboarding training, and that way that supervisor will know if that employee has completed the training that's required. And then we've created a bunch of different check boxes. So if they check, they need to be able to approve other people's time in our timekeeping called executive time. When that box is checked, what it will do is it will send out an email to our payroll division, and then they will give them the permissions they need. And then, we got Cognos, StateImagine, all these other applications. So those will automatically, depending on if they're checked or not, will create a task for various individuals, either within IT or outside of IT, so that they know to create the user and what kind of permissions to give them. And then with our AS400 Naviline program, it allows them, we'll set up their basic information, but then depending on what they select with that AS400 Naviline experience, it will also allow us to notify the application owners, and then the application owners can then create the permissions that new user will need. Other things we've asked for, communication devices, and then building access. So we'll create the building access for City Hall, but then we have other places that they might need to get into. So if they check one of those boxes, it will automatically send an email to the other departments letting them know that this employee is going to need to get into other areas. The other ones that we have, so the PD transfers and promotions, the reason we created this was because they're constantly transferring or getting promoted or maybe demoted, but it was always causing a lot of frustration with the police department because they were submitting 4 or 5 tickets anytime a promotion or transfer happened. So we worked with them, created a workflow. We even used the cascading drop downs so that if they're moving a rank, we know which rank they're going to move into. And then if they're changing a division with the detectives, if they're doing an investigator or a supervisor role, then it creates different tasks. So depending on what is selected on this form, it will create different tasks. It will also email others over at the police department to make sure that they're completing their sections that they need to be submitting as well. The other thing we like to use is we do some reports. So we usually do just the ticket summary, and these are all customizable. So I've already created a few reports that I like to keep up with. So I do the IT ticket summary. So I watch different types that we have already set. So I can see how many have been submitted this week, what we have open, what we have closed. I really like to see what kind of categories or how our tickets getting picked out. The other part I like to see is I like to see how many tickets each one of our agents are doing, especially with our service desk. So one person isn't getting overloaded versus another. And then the other thing we've also started doing, which we began at the beginning of this month, is we started the satisfaction survey summary. So I've created just the monthly survey. So I can see we've had 42 surveys sent out, 9 have been submitted. And we just did a very simple survey. So we just did 3 questions and then just a generic text box for them to give us any kind of additional comments. And it's nice because we can see who submitted it, and we can see, you know, any kind of information they need to tell us about it. So that's what we've enjoyed, and we're really impressed making sure that we've got good communication back to us and can resolve any issues that may arise quickly. So that's my instance. So now I'll turn it over to Vishu.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And that was a wonderful presentation. So next up is Vishu Nayagam. He is our Director of Product Engineering, and he will be the next person to do the presentation. Vishu?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
There you go. Okay, thank you, Kelly. Thank you for a wonderful presentation and a quick showcase of the service catalog and stuff. So what I'll be doing, my name is Vishu Nayagam. I'm the Director of Project Engineering. And what I'll be doing on my presentation is just to give you a quick overview of the product and explain some of the other features we have in the product. So we have like a boss desk, which Kelly explained. This is our on cloud-based ITSM solution. We also have boss support central. There's an on-prem solution. You can take the whole product and run it inside your network. Right. So today I will be talking about boss desk in here. So boss desk, it's completely ITL-based product, and it Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, it's completely ITL aligned product. The product addresses a lot of ITL processes. Some of the core processes are like you got your asset management, software management, contract management, vendor management. You got your knowledge base, your service catalogs, your incident management, problem management. We have change management, and we do have tasks and approvals. And it comes with a beautiful end user portal. And the end user portal is very, very minimalistic, and you can create all your knowledge base articles in here. And these knowledge base articles can be totally customized to each and every department. So when you write a knowledge base article, you can say which user base it needs to go to, and also you have like a full text editor on the knowledge base article. You can like add pictures, videos, and all those things. This knowledge base is searchable. And the service catalog is one of our core features in the service catalog. You can build any kind of catalog here. This is a sample catalog I have put together here for this demo. So basically, you can design any catalog. We give you a complete form designer. It's an easy to drag and drop form designer. And you can also add security to your forms, meaning like you can like hide and show the forms based on who is logging into the system. You can do approvals on these forms. When you design these forms, you can do an automated workflow on this form, just like Kelly explained, like how to do forms. And these forms are very, very simple to create, and I will also show you like how we can create these forms, very small form. And also we do have watchers. They can watch all the tickets in here, and they can comment on this. Then approvers can use the approvers portion to approve or disapprove a ticket, and all this. So this is our end user portal, and this system works in all form factors. We just need an internet connection, and it works on mobile. It works on your tablet devices. And coming back to here on the thing is like so. This is the main agent portion here. You get a beautiful dashboard, and you can, as I explained, like it's ITL, and you got all the process here. So you have tons of widgets here. You can also make your own custom widget and add it to the dashboard. It's configurable, different widgets based on the widget type. It's configurable differently. And each and every user gets their own dashboard, so they can, based on what role they perform, they can customize the dashboard. And it's all clickable. So, and we have different kinds of widgets, and also we have charts, graphs, and tables, and all sorts of widgets in here. Then we have like asset management. So we call it CMDB, configuration management database, asset management. One thing we do is like we have single sign-on into your network. So you can enable single sign-on either through Active Directory or third-party identity providers. And so your users don't have to create any logins. They can just use your Active Directory credentials in here. So once you have the single sign-on enabled, and we also have a small tool, Site Agent, which runs on your network, and we can start collecting inventory, hardware and software inventory inside your network without installing any client. And we can collect a lot of information from the machines, like all these AD information, make, model, serial number. We also have barcode capability. You can use our mobile apps to like scan the barcodes and pull inventory. We also have warranty information collection from different vendors. Right now we do it for HP, Lenovo, and Dell. We collect detailed inventory. All this is queryable. We have like asset to asset relationship. We have asset to ticket relationship, users. This is in the user management. Then we have contract management in here. Then we have software. There's like all the software running on these machines. And then we have like software management. When you go to the software management, you can see like what softwares are running in your system and everything. And we collect all this information without installing any client on the target machines. Now you can say, if I want to see like how many Windows 10s, I can see how many machines are running. I can manage my license keys in here in the software management. Then we have contract management. So you can like define all your contracts in here, building all your contracts. We have custom fields for everything. Then you can associate your contracts with the machines. And also we have like widgets in the dashboard, which gives you like, hey, when this contract is expiring and all those things. So you can take, it'll notify you about renewals and all those such, right? You can always manage all your vendors in here and also the purchase orders in here. So on the ticketing side, what we have is like this is, Kelly did explain the ticketing side is a ticket thing. You have a ticket here. So these are like all your form fields. You can automatically create these tasks. And we do have hierarchical tasks. So you can build this task. Either you can build this task automatically, or you can build this task by manually also. So there are multiple ways of doing it, right? And also we have like time and also one thing on the task is like we have like parent and child tiered tasks. We call it tiered charts, like parent and child. So these tasks can be automatically locked when the parent child is still not resolved, right? So once this is done, this will be all open up for subsequent processing, right? So it's like that. So when you're building it, you can build your workflow in there. Time track, you can like add timesheet information, and you like get approvals in here, then link to your asset management portion, and this is the complete event log of this ticket. So we have requested details in here. You can add watches here, either automatically or using your workflow engine. We do have an integration with TeamViewer, and also we do have custom fields, so you can like extend our software by defining your own fields. So other thing is like, so let's say, so I want a similar tickets, we can roll them into one problem. We can like create a new problem and roll them into one problem, and just document your problem. When you comment on a problem, all the underlying ticket gets commented on. And you can also create tasks for the problem, custom fields and approvers and whatnot, right? We do a change management. So if you have any kind of change, you want to document change, you can use a change management to document that, right? Change also have task approvals and everything. Then you have your task here, your approval here, and then then we have like let me quickly go through it. We have like a lot of beautiful business intelligence reports. So you can like quickly, we recently did a facelift of this module here, so you can quickly get to your data. So it's like last week what happened, or last month what happened. So if you want to see all the distribution and everything, it's all here. Everything is clickable. By clicking here, you can also save this report, and then once you save a report, you can also schedule this report using a scheduler engine. So it will automatically get scheduled to whoever you want it to be. Then let's quickly touch base on this. We can like all tag we can add tags are like sticky notes for all these models in here. You can define custom fields and extend our software. And so you can have your own fields and everything. So in our application, we track location using our mobile application. So when you scan a device, we geocode the device, and we can like pick up this location based on the geolocations. We do integrate with all the manufacturers for warranty information collection. Okay, one of the major features we have like called post boxes. Some people call it email to ticket. So you can define your email endpoint. So, and there is no limit to creating your email endpoints, or you can bring your own email inboxes. But if you don't want to manage an Exchange mailbox or anything like that, you can just create a BossDesk email. If you're happy with BossDesk, your email address, you can create as many emails as you want, and we can use the workflow engine to route that ticket and everything. Either it could be a personal email, or it could come from a device, and you can create tickets of that. We have a good notification engine, so you can control how you want to notify, whom do you notify, when do you want to notify, and what do you want to notify. Okay, so all of our, so here, let's me quickly go through the service catalogs, which Kelly talked about, like how easy to decide. So you define some categories in here, service catalog, you order in the order you want to show it, then you define some service catalog. So usually I show like, for example, a new hire form or something. What you can do is like, you can just drag and drop everything. You design, you can control the visibility of the form, security of the forms. You can say, since we are tied to AD, you can like say that, hey, this is the group. I want this group to see this form, this group, and or you can do an agent only form here. Then you can just quickly drag and drop everything what you want. And also these fields can be used in our workflow engine, so we can make decisions based on the form values when the requester fills in the form. So I can route the ticket differently based on if it's selected full-time, part-time, or intern. I can route it 3 different ways if I need to. So that's how easy to build our forms and everything. You can just drag and drop. This is one of our cascading examples. So I can build any cascade in here. Okay. So you can upload files and everything, all these controls in here. Then once the form is built, it's all listed in here. So once the form is ready for action, so this is how we'll see it. So this is how the end user will see it. They can like look up for a service you provide. For example, password reset. So these are the 2 services we provide, and password reset, right? Once they request a service, so you get all this information in the ticket, and you come in here. So before it even creates a ticket, it comes to the routing engine, and here you say if the service request form is routing engine, then you can match some conditions. You can say, I want this, it's coming from this group, that group, or I want to say the categories. If look, you can look for specific information on the ticket, if the title contains the description, like, and all those things. Then once this condition matches, I can take some actions and say, hey, I want to add all this workflow into my ticket. So you can have any combination of logic in here using a routing engine. So when the ticket actually gets created, it goes through all these routing rules and look for the condition. If it satisfies the condition, it will perform those actions. We have satisfaction surveys. So you can send these surveys. You can design your surveys in here. Every first ticket or a fifth ticket or 10th ticket like that, you can like customize it. You can, same thing, you can build your survey forms in here, and in every fifth ticket a user closes, it will send them a survey like that. So you can customize everything: priorities, categories, task types, ticket types, and all those things. And let me quickly come here and show you the knowledge base section. So you define knowledge base or article categories, then define articles. Then once when you have an article or you create a new article, you can say, even the knowledge base, you can control like who can see it, whether you want to expose it to all the users or selected users, the group. From the AD group or a local, you can create your own groups in Boss Desk and add pictures, attachments, and whatnot. Knowledge base. Okay. Then we have like you can integrate the Active Directory. You can do an SSO implementation if you want to. Like say if you have an identity provider like Okta and stuff, you can do that. Also, we do like password reset. What this password reset is like, if we want to, we have a password reset up module. So if you want to like allow your end user to change their AD password, they can change their AD password using BOSS using the forget password option on the login page. Then reports, I mentioned it, service catalog, and also one other thing we have is like announcement bar. So this like this banner messages. So you will see the messages like these. If you want to notify to the end user, you can create those messages here, right? Yeah. Okay, and that's going to be end of my presentation. And if you have any questions, put it on the chat window, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. And or even after the webinar, you can email if you have any further questions. Thank you.
Hello. Great, thank you, Vishu.
Thank you.
So we do have some questions here. A lot of questions for Kelly, actually. Kelly, the first question is, how long did it take your team to create your service catalogs?
So we spent about 2, maybe 3 months figuring out how we wanted to set up our service catalog. We didn't want to make it too broad, but we didn't want to make it too specific either. But we came up with these pretty general areas. And then we've also added just recently the Sages and the Glance. And we always try to keep it fresh and add more information out there, and always open to any ideas our other IT staff may come to us with.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for you as well. The question is, what were some of the issues you faced and had to overcome when establishing your service catalogs?
You know, we actually did a pretty good way of introducing this to all of our end users, so we didn't have a whole lot of issues or problems setting it all up. Everyone was pretty welcoming to the change. They were looking forward to more options to choose from, and they also have enjoyed the quicker response times.
Okay, perfect. The next person wants to know, how did you sell the concept and train your other departments aside from IT using the new process?
So what we did is, when we first rolled this, just before we rolled it out to all of our end users, we did 4 or 5 showcase experiences throughout the other departments. and kind of gave them an idea of the look and feel of what the new service desk was going to look like. We allowed them to come down and kind of play in the system. And then as we brought on other agents, so like our traffic department and our cybercrime unit, you know, they already had an idea of how to work in the system. And then I just showed them from the agent's perspective of how they manage their tickets and how they close their tickets and update any kind of statuses.
Okay, perfect. And what advice would you give? What advice would you have for a new user if you had to do it all over again?
Make sure you spend time planning out kind of what you want to do and what your end goal is and what kind of experience you want your end users to also have.
Okay. And what has the reaction of city management been to the changes?
They've all really enjoyed it. We've had a lot of praise. People, they're really impressed with how quickly we respond to tickets. We're getting more one-call resolutions now. So they've all really enjoyed it, and they've actually encouraged their staff to submit help desk tickets instead of calling like their one favorite person in IT.
Great. Okay. And are there any plans to expand coverage to even more departments?
We are looking at it. We might be doing our facilities department because they have a work order system in place currently, so we may look at maybe expanding it out to them and seeing how we can get them to use this so they can have more reports and track their progress.
Okay, and let's see. Okay, perfect. If anyone else has any other questions, if you just would enter them into the chat window.
Julie, there are some questions on the chat window too.
Oh, I'm sorry, not on the chat window. On the chat window. Okay.
Jesse has some question about some new features coming out. I can answer that.
Okay, wonderful.
So some of the new features we are working on right now is like tiered approvals. We have tiered tasks, so we'll be doing tiered approvals. And one big feature we are working on right now is the conditional forms. You know, like how we have the form builder, but we want to make a conditional form. So you hide and show elements based on certain form values. So we are working on that one. And the routing, conditional routing right now, on the workflow, you create multiple routing rules. So in order to consolidate that, we are improving our routing workflow engine where you can do like kind of like do multiple conditions and then take some actions. And then we have software deployment. Those are some major features we are working on. And Julie, there's a question with Andy Byron.
Okay, yeah. Andy Byron is asking, can everyone in the company submit tickets, or are they streamlined through one point of contact for each department?
Anyone can.
No,
submit.
so we allow everyone to enter tickets in all the departments. The only ones that we have that are group-based, permission-based is just the cyber unit. Only the police department can submit those tickets, but everything else is wide open.
Okay, great. All right, looks like we are coming up on time. So to go ahead and announce the lucky winner of our $50 Amazon gift card. The winner is Chris Fox with Bay County, Florida. So Chris, we will get in touch with you after this and get that gift card over to you. Thanks so much. So if anyone has any questions after the webinar, please contact sales@boss-solutions.com or call 678-684-1200. And again, thank you so much for your participation today. There will be a survey sent out again, and we would absolutely really appreciate any feedback again on this webinar and what you'd like to see in the future. So thank you so much. Thank you, Kelly Hanson, for a great presentation and sharing your instance with us. And thank you, Vishu, for taking us through how to build all of that. Everyone have a wonderful afternoon.